everyone, welcome back again to this channel. So Kenneth Okonkwo has come out to say he never lobbied P2B for any position. This is a way of him protecting his integrity and showing that his support for Obi was not about personal gain. In Nigerian politics, many people join movements mainly to get positions or appointments. So he's distancing himself from that stereotype. Now, on the other part, he also said that Tinubu will be a one-term president. That's a bold political prediction. It shows that Kenneth Okonkwo believes Nigeria may not be satisfied with Tinubu's leadership and that 2027 could swing in favor of another candidate, possibly from Labour Party or opposition. Anyway, guys, I would love you guys to listen to Kenneth Okonkwo, and please drop your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you're coming across my channel for the first time, do well to hit the subscribe button, like and share this video. So just hear from Kenneth Okonkwo, and I'm going to be right back.
Niger Unfiltered, Kenneth Okonkwo, public affairs analyst, a columnist, a legal practitioner, a politician, and of course those that blaze the trail in the Nollywood industry.
Thank you very much for this opportunity again to talk about Nigeria, and thank you viewers from any part of the world that you're watching.
All right, let's start this way. Dr. Kach Ononuju said you left the Labour Party after P2B denied their request for National Publicity Secretary position. According to him, you lobbied for it. How true is that?
You know, in all honesty, at times it's not necessary answering back to people that you know that are sick. You know, a lot of people do not understand that the so-called Kach Ononuju is now suffering from a degenerative mental disease that is making him to be autistic at his age. You know, this disease will make you to fabricate something that is non-existent and postulate it as if it is a fact. Now, let's look at it this way. First of all, I have never had any meeting in my life between P2B, Kach Ononuju, and myself. Never. You know, even a lot of journalists are really of low IQ. Anyway, with the advent of this social media and everybody's now claiming to be a journalist, I wonder why they did not even ask him, please, were you there with P2B when Kenneth Okonkwo ever lobbied him for any office? Because I have never lobbied P2B for any office whatsoever. So I wonder what brought such fabrication. But I understand, because like I told you, I am aware that he's suffering from a degenerative mental disease that is now making him to be an adult, you know, autistic fellow. Now, let me ask you, is it not ridiculous? Somebody is already a presidential spokesperson, and you said he went to the same person that he is speaking for to lobby to be a publicity secretary of a failed political party, because he said after the election, not even before the election. He said after the election. Does it make sense? Now, who is that person that want to go and lobby the person you're already serving for another post of a lower quality? Let me ask, please, being a presidential spokesperson and being the publicity secretary of a failed political party, which one is greater? No, if you check this government now, which one is higher? And somebody sat down and fabricated something, and people are even listening to him. Okay, now let's even listen to that Kach Ononuju interview. In that same interview, he said he was the one who brought Hope Uzodinma to contest for election. Can you imagine a rat like that? An old horse like Hope Uzodinma. Meanwhile, Hope Uzodinma is APC. He said he's still a member of PDP, meaning he was playing double, APC, PDP. And he said he works for P2B. That's Labour Party. So Kach Ononuju alone is with APC, PDP, Labour Party at the same time, and you're listening to such political jobber. Now, he said Kenneth Okonkwo met them. Met you where? Because you were never, from your own analysis, you were never a member of Labour Party. Met you where? And you can imagine such empty barrel that is making the most noise, saying he was part of it that formed the obedient movement. Can you imagine? He does not even understand what the movement is. Otherwise, he wouldn't even say he was part of the one that formed the obedient movement. Was an organic movement that sprang up on its own, growing up everywhere because of the dissatisfaction of the people against the existing order. And one man that, like I said, that is mentally challenged is coming to tell lies. Fabrication. I said I have never had any meeting whatsoever between three of us for life. It never existed. They should have asked him, were you there when Kenneth Okonkwo was lobbying people? Have you ever had any meeting whatsoever? Three of you only. But people will just sit down and talk absolute nonsense. But here is the problem. How is it that people are lying with P2B's name, and P2B will hear such a thing publicly and will not react to it and will not call them to order publicly? You can never use me, Kenneth Okonkwo, to lie against P2B, no matter the situation. Once you bring it publicly, because I detest lies. If it is not true, I will come out publicly to debunk it. So why has P2B not debunked such useless lie that somebody is lying with his name? It shows a leader that cannot even defend the truth or defend people who have even worked for him. These are the kind of problems that P2B has, attracting even street urchins, classless street urchins. So we will buy you there. I saw another classless street urchin of the Ikuke. So Ikuke level, no Ikuke. All those rabies infested, dogs that anything you do, because they are ill-bred, they are very ill-mannered, ill-tempered street urchins. These are the kind of followers that he's attracting now. Okay, we buy you there. What was that? What's so great we buy you there? I don't know what it is. But this, can you imagine? In a society that other leaders are attracting distinguished people, the people you are attracting are street urchins of the people that fabricate things that are non-existing. If there is anybody who is a political jobber, who is eating from both PDP, APC, LP, is Kachononoji. So how can I meet somebody in a movement and in a political party that he's not a member? And he confessed, he said that he's still a member of PDP. Is there any still serious politician who is still a member of PDP? And then he is coming to call Kenneth Okonkwo unashamedly. Please, there is nothing wrong whatsoever in lobbying for any political post if you're a politician. So if I lobbied for any, I'll be bold enough to say I lobbied for this post. It's not a crime. What is wrong with it? When I left Labour Party, I was bold enough to speak out on the reason that I left Labour Party. I said, look, anarchy is going to come into this party because people who are supposed to take decision have refused to take decision. And since they've refused to take decision, I have no business remaining there, because I don't like to join on serious organizations. I made it public. And by then, this level of anarchy has not even come. Meaning people now know that I'm saying the truth. So do you think it is giving up being a presidential spokesperson? I gave it up. I didn't have any political party. I didn't have any politician for months. And I said, if there's no new arrangement, no new alignment, no new coalition that will give Nigerians alternative and that can give the ruling party a run for their money, I will not be part of 2027. And somebody is saying you went to lobby for publicity secretary of a failed political party. Let me tell you the closest I came to about leadership of Labour Party. There is a member of the House of Representatives, and he's still alive now. During that convention, he came to me. He said, look, if Abure is not going to run or is not interested in the convention, there are only two persons he's interested in to be the national chairman of Labour Party. He said, you, Kenneth Okonkwo, and he mentioned one other person from the north. And I told him, say, look, if you ever sat down and contemplated Kenneth Okonkwo to be national chairman of Labour Party, then that means you don't even like Peter Obi to be president. How would it suit that somebody from Southeast will be national chairman and we want to push another person from the Southeast to be president? I said, don't even mention it again. I said, I am going to support a Northerner to be national chairman, because that balancing is what's going to suit the candidacy of Peter. He's still alive. So if I rejected even the idea of being a national chairman, then somebody who thinks he wants to trend with the name of Kenneth Okonkwo, the big cheap name, will now come to say that me lobbied for publicity secretary of a failed political party. Even if he's brilliant, he would have even said something that is believable. Because I cannot leave being a presidential spokesperson, which is a higher office, and start lobbying the same person I am speaking for a failed publicity secretary of a failed political party. It's ridiculous. So please, I wouldn't have even loved to reply to this, but if I didn't say anything, people would think maybe there's even a sense in what he was saying. All the journalists that ever repeated such nonsense, I regard them as classless, low IQ journalists. They couldn't even ask him certain questions. I don't even need to reply to such a thing, because a lie is standing on its face. So please, I don't normally honestly reply to such liars. Let them continue following their kind of leader that they are just.
All right, let's move on. What's your take on the president's independence speech to Nigerians, and how do you react to that?
It is very sad that President Tinubu's speeches, almost all of them, are now becoming a propaganda machine. 100% propaganda. No element of truth. No element of substance. None. It's unfortunate that any time now you sit down, you want to listen to the president talk, what you'll be hearing is complete braggadocio, complete propaganda, devoid of substance, devoid of truth. And making such broadcasts when people are suffering and dying out of hunger and hardship is disheartening. Throughout the whole speech, did you hear him mention how much Nigeria is owing now? Nigeria is owing $100 billion. That's about 150 trillion naira. And Tinubu borrowed almost half of this amount within 2 years. And he's telling you about the economy improving. Everything his government is doing now is based on rebasing, because they cannot stand up with the truth of the facts. They'll tell you they have rebased the GDP. They'll tell you they have rebased the inflation in order to manipulate the figures. Let me tell you the hoax that has become this government. Part of the propaganda they used to come into government is that by 2030 they will make Nigerian economy $1 trillion economy. After they are rebasing, Nigerian economy, the GDP is about $243 billion. The president is touting that the GDP has increased by 4.23%. 4.23% of the GDP. Give them even $280 billion. Dash them that, because at times they would issue the propaganda that is $280 billion. Because basically it's about 372 point something trillion naira, which is about $243 billion. But give them even $280 billion, growing at the rate of 4.24%, meaning each year there will be a growth of about $11.9 billion. In 5 years, it will be about $60 billion. If you add that to $280 billion, it will be about $340 billion by 2030. Not even up to about 30% of the propaganda that this government is deceiving people about. $1 trillion 2030, creating false hopes, creating false impression. Look at that speech. Did not even pay condolences to the hundreds that were massacred in Katsina, in Zamfara, worshiping God. And he's a Muslim. He picked another fellow Muslim ticket. Muslims dying in droves. Nothing to signify the level of security. And you can see how the young Somto Chukwu Maduago was murdered as a result of the insecurity problem. That is why people will tell you that when it comes to insecurity, you can't allow the criminals 1% success, because that 1% success can lead to irreparable, irreplaceable loss, which will be 100% to the people that are the victims of this. The young Sumter was massacred and died. The president could not recognize such terrible loss in a broadcast. 29-year-old lawyer, my learned colleague. And you know, broadcasting is part of the general entertainment in a way. They educate, they inform. And yet you have a president that is dishing out propaganda in the name of broadcast on an independent, an independent celebration. Now, what are the contents of his speech? He told you that inflation has gone down to 20 point something percent. Rebased. Please, has the cost of fuel per liter gone down? Has the cost of PMS, which is powering the whole inflation determination, has it gone down? Where did they get that figure from? Rebased. The cost of food, the only ones that have gone down are the ones that they harmfully ordered their importation. Rice, maize, and another crop. They imported it in order to create the impression that things are not going haywire. So if you go to the market, you will see the prices of all those ones that are not being imported still very high and has even gone up. And then those ones that they are now importing the expired rice and all those things, because they say these are some of the rice that they've stored abroad for more than 10 years. Why make the farmers to go and suffer under the security to produce, and they cannot sell now because you have ordered importation, when you know that the prices are going haywire? Unhealthy food. And this is a president that is telling you things are improving. If people are not dying in your village because of hunger and hardship, they are dying in my village in Soka because of hunger and hardship. So all those talk, they are simply bewitching Nigeria. I have said it before. And whatever APC says about itself is a lie. But they have upgraded now from the level of lies to the level of bewitchment through enchantments. That's what they're doing. Falsehood is no longer enough. They've now grown to enchantment so that they can bewitch. Now, what was the president saying? In the economy, he wants to let you know that non-oil export is improving. On what? Okay, let's start from revenue. By August, he said they have collected all the revenue. From where? Extorting the people through higher taxes, through higher tariffs. What are they producing that will make the revenue to increase? Tinubu's government is serving the powerful, not the people. Can you imagine In that speech, he said they have shared 330.
So my people, honestly, Kenneth Okonkwo has actually dropped a bombshell. Everything he said in this particular video is nothing but the truth. Just that the people in power has refused to hear the truth. The truth is always bitter, like they will say. So guys, please drop your thoughts in the comment section below. And also if you're coming across my channel for the first time, do wait to hit the subscribe button, like and share this video. So guys, thanks for watching and see you guys again in my next video.